Have you ever heard that sickening thud against your window and rushed to see a tiny bird lying motionless on the ground below? You stand there, frozen, unsure what just happened or what you're supposed to do next. It's a sight that happens in backyards across America, Canada, the UK, and Australia every single day, yet almost everyone who witnesses it has no idea what they're really seeing. That bird's crash isn't random, and it's not due to clumsiness. There's something happening in that pane of glass right now that's completely invisible to you, yet absolutely deadly to any bird flying toward it. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll discover the single biggest mistake people make that leads to thousands of bird deaths each year, and more importantly, how you can prevent it from ever happening in your own yard. Picture this: a bright blue sky or the reflection of the oak tree in your garden. To your eyes, it's just a window. But to a bird, it looks like an open path, a safe space to fly straight through. They're not stupid. They're responding to every visual cue evolution has given them, and when we build reflective surfaces like glass, we unintentionally create traps. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what birds see when they approach windows, why simple things like where you place your feeder could be making the problem far worse, and practical steps you can take immediately to save these little lives. By the time we're done, you'll have one easy trick that almost nobody thinks about, but it makes a huge difference. And here's a small challenge for you. Glance around your own windows right now and notice anything that might fool a bird into thinking it can fly straight through. Keep that observation in mind, because you'll be testing it by the end of this video. If you care even a little about the birds visiting your garden, stay with me, and if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss the solution that could save countless feathered friends. When a bird flies toward your window, it's not simply misjudging its path, it's being completely deceived by what it sees. To you, glass is solid, clear, and transparent, something you look through without a second thought. To a bird, however, it's a mirror that perfectly reflects the sky, trees, or the greenery in your yard. They don't see a barrier. They see open space, a continuation of their habitat, a place to fly straight through. Researchers at the American Bird Conservancy have documented this over and over again, showing that birds commit to these flight paths at full speed, reacting to every visual cue they've evolved to trust. It's not stupidity. It's instinct, precision, and unfortunately, tragedy when the world we've built doesn't match the one they expect. Take a moment and step back from your own window. Look from 20, 30, even 40 feet away. You'll see your reflection, the sky above, and the perfect illusion you've created. That's exactly what the bird sees: an invitation, not a warning. And here's the kicker. The danger is amplified on bright days or when the glass reflects vegetation behind you. Double reflections, mirrored skies, and trees on both sides make it impossible for the bird to detect the barrier until it's too late. Slow-motion studies of these collisions show wings fully extended, feathers ruffled, as the bird crashes into what should be a harmless pane of glass. It's heartbreaking, but it's also predictable. This is where your awareness and action come in. By understanding exactly what the bird sees, you gain the power to change the scenario. You can manipulate the environment, introduce subtle visual cues on the glass, and guide birds safely around obstacles. In the next segments, we'll explore the most common mistakes people make with feeder placement that intensify the problem and practical steps you can take immediately to reduce bird collisions. Keep your observation from part 1 in mind, because soon you'll be comparing it to what I show you in action, and you'll be able to implement it in your own backyard today. Remember, each detail matters, from reflections to feeder locations to simple visual indicators. The birds are trusting what they see completely. And as we progress, you'll learn how small changes create massive differences in their safety. Stick with me, because the solution I'm about to reveal is surprisingly simple, yet life-saving, and almost nobody ever thinks about it until it's too late. Now that we understand why birds can't see glass, let's talk about one of the biggest hidden dangers in your backyard: the placement of your feeder. Most people think placing a bird feeder 10 to 30 feet from a window is safe. It seems far enough, right? But this is actually the danger zone. Ornithologists have found that birds startled from feeders in this range often build enough speed to hit the glass at full force, leading to serious injuries or death. It's one of the most common mistakes people make, and yet it's almost never mentioned in casual backyard advice. Imagine a small bird landing on your feeder and taking off suddenly. Within that 10-30-foot range, it can't adjust its flight path quickly enough. It's too late to swerve. The reflection in the glass looks like open sky, and the bird collides with your window. Contrast occur made her placed within 3 feet of the window. Yes, it feels counterintuitive, but birds taking off from such a short distance simply don't reach dangerous speeds. They bounce, shake it off, and survive. The other safe option is to place feeders more than 30 feet away, which gives birds enough space to adjust their flight and avoid collisions entirely. Let's bring this to life. Visual cue, point of view from a bird on a feeder, slow motion of flight paths toward windows. Look at your own backyard and picture your feeder in that exact range. Can you see the path the bird would take? Notice how even a slight reflection of trees or sky could trick the bird completely. Small details matter. A mirror-like reflection, nearby shrubs, or even the angle of the window can amplify the danger. This is why we'll soon go over simple visual cues, like stickers or pattern tape, which dramatically reduce collisions. Before we move to solutions, here's a little experiment for you. Measure the distance from your feeder to the nearest window. Is it in the danger zone? Keep that number in mind. In the next part, we'll not only explore practical steps to protect birds, but also show exactly how to set up your backyard so every flight path becomes safe. You'll see the dramatic difference a few small changes can make, and by the end of this video, you'll have all the tools you need to implement them today. Now that you understand why birds can't see glass and how feeder placement can put them in danger, it's time to put it all together with practical solutions you can apply today. First, consider adding simple visual cues to your windows: dots, stickers, or patterned tapework wonders. Even spacing them a few inches apart can break up reflections and signal to birds that a solid surface is ahead. You don't need elaborate designs or expensive equipment. These small, consistent markers can make a dramatic difference. Next, double-check your feeder placement. Remember the safe zones, either within 3 feet of a window or beyond 30 feet. Anything in between increases the risk, and a startled bird can reach dangerous speeds before even realizing the glass is there. Combining visual markers with proper feeder placement creates a layered defense that birds can rely on every time they visit your backyard. Beyond that, pay attention to the surrounding environment. Reflections are strongest when trees, shrubs, or the sky are perfectly mirrored. If possible, adjust the angle of your windows or add subtle shading during the brightest parts of the day. Even temporary solutions, like moving potted plants or adding window films, can interrupt reflections. Small adjustments like these are easy to implement, but incredibly effective at preventing collisions. For those of you with multiple windows or feeders, take it one step at a time. Observe the flight paths, test different setups, and watch how birds respond. You'll start noticing patterns, and that awareness alone can save countless feathered lives. Now here's the final piece. Your engagement matters. Share this video with friends and neighbors, and encourage them to check their own windows. Each small action contributes to a safer environment for birds everywhere. And if you've been following along, take a moment to apply the techniques we've discussed. Walk around your backyard, note problem areas, and implement at least one fix today. Even minor changes compound over time, and your backyard could become a model of bird safety. Finally, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Why? Because in upcoming videos, I'll share more insider tips on backyard wildlife, practical DIY fixes, and expert tricks that almost nobody talks about but make a real impact. By the end of this, you'll not only have protected the birds in your yard, but you'll also feel empowered knowing that a few deliberate actions can save lives. Stay observant, stay proactive, and watch your backyard transform into a safe haven for our feathered friends.